Hey everyone, Jerry here, and welcome to another episode. In this episode, we're going to be working on a dare. So here's how the story goes. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine dared me essentially to recreate this illustration of Wonder Woman. It's her wearing the Ask Me About My Feminist Agenda t-shirt. Now this concept originates from Mockingbird issue 8, and that was part of Civil War II. Civil War II was designed to coincide with the release of Captain America: Civil War, the film of the MCU. This cover issue this issue was written by Chelsea Cain, I believe. Chelsea Cain, and it was drawn by Joelle Jones. And as you can see from this cover, predictably, it triggered the internet in all the right ways. No, sadly, no. It went toxic really fast. It was actually so bad that the writer, Chelsea Cain, actually left Twitter. We've got to do better than this. Okay, so with that little bit of history out of the way, let's get started. So going in, I start blocking a few things. So the skin, the hair, the clothes. One thing that you can probably guess as you're looking at this is I don't erase my lines, my pencil or ink lines. And the reason for that is I've never been a fan of this whole clean line look. It takes away, in my personal opinion, I think that it takes away personality. I don't try to be a perfect artist because I don't think there is such a thing as perfection. So the imperfection that make up the illustration are things I like to still keep because it reminds me of that, and I love incorporating that. Next, the text is another key component of the illustration which I want to keep. So I'm just going to put it here, and I'll eventually get to it later and do some more refinement on there. And when it comes to the background, nothing detailed, but enough of a foundation to build upon. So with the composition essentially all laid out, there are a couple of challenges that I usually give myself because there are numerous variations of this concept out there, and I want to stand out from all of them. So the first one is with the character herself. Wonder Woman is a feminist icon. She has been ever since she appeared on the cover of Miss Magazine, I want to say in the 1960s or so. So I needed some way to say that. The composition didn't allow for that. So I went online, found the feminist symbol, and decided to just place it against the wall that she's leaning against, like a piece of graffiti or some kind of painting, so at least we have that. The second challenge for this was the color and what I wanted to take out of it. I've always been a fan as of late, and it might have something to do with my trip to Meow Wolf, color explosion of the 1980s. There was just this, everything was colorful and vibrant and unapologetic because, well, in the 1980s, it was essentially a time of excess. You know, you could never have too much. And I even incorporate that a little bit with her hair. You could never have too much. When it came to the colors, you could never be too loud. The colors back then were saying, I'm here, look at me, I'm unavoidable. And I think that is what makes a good illustration. If you're walking down the street without even knowing and it stops you in your tracks, that means it's successful. And the last challenge harkens back to the two illustrations that we use as inspiration for this illustration. Try and say that 3 times fast. So one of the things that stands out in both is that the superheroines depicted are not in full battle gear. If anything, they're dressed like regular people. The genius of that is that it allows any woman looking at this to feel as though, oh yeah, I could be in that scene, that could be me. So that's the feel that we're getting here. And in both of those examples, there's little hints that they are superheroes. So with all those components, the last thing we need to do is build on her background. Now, the approach is that we're going to have such a powerful light source, it doesn't need to be too detailed. We're going to allow some of the silhouettes to do most of the bulk of the work. We're just going to create a little bit of highlights here and there, to create that atmosphere. And once we have that, we're just going to go into the final rendering. Final rendering essentially means turning everything up into 11. Et voila, we are done. I like this one. It came out really well. It's very bright, it's very colorful, and I think it's unique. It stands out. But let me know what you guys thought of it. I'd love to hear feedback from you. Don't forget to do all the things like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and if you do want to copy it, I'll put a link down in the description for you guys. And I'll see you next time.